Blue Kool-Aid drinkers!
Whoa!
We are back, baby. We are back, and it is September now. Never wake me up when it ends, because this is the start of the 2024-2025 Lions Super Bowl season. And what we got for you on today's episode is a preview with a lot of predictions for the upcoming season. And then later this week, we will have our Game 1 preview of Sunday Night Football. Lions hosting Matt Stafford and the Rams. We'll get into that later this week in a different episode. But right now, again, this is season predictions.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get into all of that, I'm Big Z. Let's get to the rest of the Blue Kool-Aid crew. That is here. We got Bob.
Hey, what's up, gang?
UJ.
Greetings and salutations, fans.
And last but not least, we got Run Dog. And our producer, Kid J, who may or may not chime in on some of these, is also standing by as well. We are graced with his presence. So, gentlemen, first of all, are you just excited to do some these predictions? This is always a fun one.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm excited despite your Green Day reference. I'm still just jacked. It didn't take the energy at all.
I just thought it just happened. I swear to God.
I thought it was nice. I liked it.
Oh, man. So what we want to do on this podcast, I just have some categories, very generic categories for the most part. And then there's a bunch of bets, I think, that are good talking points as well, like over-under yards and touchdowns and stuff for some players. I think that are good talking points as predictions for the season upcoming here as well. So I guess, is there anything, UJ, you really want to quickly mention the Detroit Lions captains that were announced today?
Yeah, they just announced it today, and they're the same as last year with one exception, that being Hutch. So on offense, we have Goff, St. Brown, and Sewell as the captains on offense. Anzalone and Hutch, the defense, and Reeves Maben, I guess, is our special teams captain. So those are our six captains for the year. Very well-deserving, I think.
Yeah.
3 on defense, or 3 on offense, 2 on defense, and 1 on special teams?
Yes.
They count that?
Do you think, like, Terry Arnold gets up at a meeting, stands up at the desk, "Oh, Captain, my captain," and then all those guys look at him and say, what? All right.
Seems like something he might do.
Just watch for the ceiling fans.
UJ, what do you think about the rumors that the Lions will be wearing the black unis to start this season?
I really am
a little better way to start.
I'm a little depressed about
that. The Lions
that.
are already trolling you, Jay.
I heard that rumor. It may be true. I don't know. I mean, I'll still be rooting for the same like I always do, but man, the black thing, I don't know. It just harkens back to the Millen days, and I really tried to forget those days. And
is that really what it is? I feel like that's not the real thing. You have something about just like the black color.
Yeah. It's not that
colors.
It's a Millen tribute.
It's not
That's
our
what they're
colors. Doing. We're Honolulu blue and silver, man. That's us.
And occasionally black. No.
Whoa.
What'd you do there?
UJ getting real angry over there, knocking down.
So you got me all excited. God, you guys. Oh, my God.
Well, anyways, you mentioned Hutch. UJ, I did not have this on our list, but he's 14-1 odds to lead the league in sacks. 14-1. That's behind Watt and Parsons,
That's your
Garrett,
money, baby.
Crosby, and Hines Allen. So that Josh Hines Allen is Josh Allen, the D tackle from the Jaguars, who changed his name to Hines Allen because he was getting confused with the quarterback of the Bills.
Oh, you mean the DN?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny.
So now it's Josh Hines Allen. Anyways, the categories that I have for this pod go as so we've Rookie of the Year, Team MVP, that is either side of the ball, leading rusher. Then I have a bunch of over/under bets we can talk about, and then our predictions for the season, Super Bowl matchup, and our and the MVP of the NFL. It could be a Lions player or not. Knowing the podcast, probably be a Lions player, but that's all right. So without further ado, I want to jump right into it because we got a bunch of these categories to talk about. And I want to go with Rookie of the Year. This is undrafted or somebody that we did draft. And I want to start with you, Bob. Who do you have as your Rookie of the Year for this Detroit Lions 2024-2025 team?
I'm rooting for all these guys, but I'm going to just go with Terry and Arnold out of the gate because I know he's a high pick, easy choice, but I think the guy's good, and I think he's going to show out. I'm excited to see him. So Terry and Arnold, Rookie of the Year.
All right, it's beautiful. I imagine a lot of us might be thinking that way. But Rud Dog, I want to see if you have the same answer.
I'm gonna pull zigzag and go with Ennis Rakestraw as the surprise show out on defensive secondary for us this year. I think he might do something kind of what Branch did in the nickel in the slot this year and might surprise everybody a little bit because I feel like everyone's sleeping on him because of Terrion. I think Terrion will have a great season, though. Honestly, I'm almost being contrarian just to give a different answer, but I think Ennis could really show out this year.
I like it.
UJ.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little contrarian myself, and I'm going to go Isaiah Williams. Yeah. This kid
New byproduct.
This kid is going to light up the league with his kick returns and contributions on offense, and he is going to be spectacular. He's going to be the best undrafted free agent signing of the year, hands down. So I'm going to go with that just to be contrarian, but I like it, though. I like this kid, and I like what he has to offer on special teams especially. So imagine if we had that guy, that Devin Hester guy. What if he's that guy? I don't know. Could be.
Now you're really aiming high.
Why not?
Wow.
Why not aim high?
Isaiah?
Anyway, I like the kid, and that's gonna be my answer. I'm going with it.
Yeah, the Lions gave him one of the bigger undrafted free agent rookie contracts, so that panned out well for them to fight and make the team. Even though he was so good in the preseason and so good in camp and so consistent, they didn't. Even though they technically don't have like a spot for him right now, like because he plays the slot primarily. Well, he's either like a backup in the slot in case Amon-Ra are ever to go down, but
Or Raymond.
they're trying him in different ways, kind of like Khalifa Raymond style, if you will. Just move him around in offense. The guy's athletic, and Ben Johnson's creative. They'll find a way to get him in open space at times when he's needed. I imagine he might not be active on several days.
No. I think his role. I think he'll be active most days just because he's going to be the kick returner. I think. And maybe even the punt returner too. I mean, why put our starters in there
on the roster? I agree.
Running back kicks when you can use this kid, and we've already seen what he can do. He's very talented there.
Well, the answer is not to waste a roster spot on the guy returning kicks.
If he's up for Rookie of the Year, we're going to be in really good shape on offense.
Wait, you're talking about Isaiah here?
Isaiah Williams.
Absolutely.
If Isaiah Williams is up for Rookie of the Year for his offensive contributions, this offense is going to be just like teabagging everybody.
Did they announce that he's the kick? Did they announce?
I was hoping you'd go with Vaki. I thought Vaki might be the guy.
I like Vaki, but the guys ahead of him are just too good.
That's what I would want to pick.
I mean, I have Terrion Arnold here as well. I thought it was. I'm going to go with the chalk there a little bit, but I think he's. He's going to be the highest impact player. I think our defense will kind of go as he goes to a degree, because if he's struggling out there mightily, like we saw Sutton at the end of last year, it could be. We might have to change our defense a little more than I think we're hoping for here to start of the season.
Well, we got some guys to try out there, and this is right there behind him.
True,
but
that's very true.
I also think he's going to get tried this year too, so he also has potential to be like a big time playmaker because I think they're going to test him to see if he can hold up. And that means opportunities for interceptions.
So one of the over-unders I had written down here is Terrion Arnold, 2.5 interceptions. This is over-under on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm. I think it's over.
Prediction, really quick. Bob, over-under, 2.5 interceptions for Terrion Arnold.
Over.
Red Dog.
Over.
UJ.
Over with 4.
Whoa. All right.
I like it.
I'm going to go 2. I think we have other talented players in this roster, but I think 2 is an appropriate number. If over, I'll be, over the moon excited about that.
I love the way you keep us from not getting too excited, Z.
I feel like we need to put like a disclaimer. I don't endorse this position by Big Z. You be careful what you take. Betting against the Lions is not a good look in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
it's not betting against them.
Betting against Terrion, going under. Like I just,
And then for our outstanding rookie, the ghost of podcasts past, Connor, has picked Terrion Arnold as well. So.
Thank you, Bob. Yep, thank you.
That is the logical pick, though, boys.
Yes. All right, let's move on to Team MVP. That is on either side of the ball this player could be.
Mm-hmm.
So, UJ, let's start with you. Who will be the Lions' team MVP of this season?
We go as he goes. Jared Goff, baby, is going to be team MVP. Go to the Super Bowl all the way. It's on his back. So, he's the man. Jared Goff. All the way.
If you had to guess, UJ, what odds do you think Jared Goff is to win the MVP of the NFL? You just had to take a guess without.
I'll just say.
I'm assuming you haven't looked.
What, 30-1 or something like that, man?
40-1.
Okay.
$25 can win you $1,000. So consider that because I already did that bet exactly. So I think the Lions might have the best record in the NFL.
I endorse that position by Big
Yeah.
I feel like if the Lions have the best record in the NFL, which I think they have a really good shot at it, as I'm sure we will note in our predictions. Why wouldn't the quarterback of the best team and with the team with the best record in the NFL not win, or at least have a very good chance at the MVP? I think that's a really solid bet. I think that's a little overvalued or undervalued.
Oh, agreed.
Something like that.
Don't they pick it before the playoffs too? Which I think is kind of ridiculous. It should go. I mean, they picked that.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah,
isn't it?
the timing of picking.
It's for the
every
season
sport,
MVP
though.
Yeah.
It's the season
Hockey's
MVP,
the only
not
one
the.
with like a playoff MVP, like at least like how your performance through the entirety of the playoffs.
Right.
Like
Super
there's a
Bowl
Super
gets
Bowl
an
MVP,
MVP.
an NBA Finals MVP, but hockey is the only one that has like your performance over the course of the entire playoffs trophy. But even theirs, like they have a regular season one and a postseason one, which I think is fair. It's kind of two different things.
Yeah, I agree.
But I like how hockey does it because it's over the course of the entire playoffs and not just one series.
That's hockey, baby.
Yeah, the most valuable player could be on a team that doesn't even make the playoffs.
So, Rud Dog, who do you have? Team MVP.
I mean, there's only one answer here, man.
Is
It's
there?
JG, baby. It's JG. He's gonna be all that talent on offense, but he's at the center of it. He's what's gonna make that engine run behind that offensive line.
Is that Jahmyr Gibbs, JG?
JG16. Jared Goff, baby. Though,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Gibbs could definitely be a candidate on this list. I mean, honestly, there's a few others, but I won't try to stomp on the next guy's picks. But no, Jared Goff, man, he's my guy. Like, I just think, like you said, he's undervalued. Everyone underestimates what Jared Goff is too. He's an elite quarterback. Maybe he's not. Got that extra scramble ability, but you don't need that to be a great quarterback in the NFL, and Jared Goff is a great quarterback in the NFL, so I think he's going to have a real good chance at it.
I think even more so, if Jared Goff goes down and gets hurt, I think the Lions' chances to win the Super Bowl are extremely hindered.
Unless Hooker decided
Hooker, Cinderella story.
I think that's another reason why, if you think of MVP, like if this guy is out, like how does that affect the team? I think he has the biggest impact for sure. It's not like even like Joe Burrow when he went down last year with the Bengals, their backup he played pretty good. I don't have the confidence that Hendon Hooker could step in there personally. And
is it the backup that gives you confidence in a team's success continued after their quarterback drops, or is it the overall roster? Because honestly, I feel like a lot of teams would drop to their second quarterback, and they might be better than who we even have, but they'd be worse off because we just got such a good roster. I feel like we'd still find ways to win games. But,
no, that's fair. We have a chance. I just don't know about winning a Super Bowl necessarily.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, you're not wrong.
How dare you? How dare you?
Bob, do you have Jared Goff as well?
Well, it seems obvious to pick Goff because what I want to do is pick Hutch because I think Hutch is going to have a huge jump up year, but I think the offense is going to be our dominant side of the ball, and you gotta win through Goff. So Goff MVP, and I think he's going to get it done too. So Goff.
Yes.
Goff.
For the reasons I mentioned, I'm going to go Goff as well. I wanted to go Hutch, and but at the end of the day, I do think I also wanted to go my boy Panay Sewell. But
has the tackle ever won MVP?
Well, he's been my MVP pick the last 2 years in this podcast. So the season preview. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? If Panay Sewell won MVP of the league,
amazing.
That would be incredible. That'll never happen, unfortunately.
How an O lineman could ever do that? Like, it's just to stand out to that level because you're part of a unit.
I guess you'd have to perform really good 1 year and then be out the next year, and the quarterback just gets sacked 70 times, some just absurd number. Well, but then you'd have to come back the next year and perform, and it would be a 3-year process.
Well, I heard they're throwing a new wrinkle in the offense. They're going to have Sewell just block everybody, and then we're going to put a lot more receivers out there. They won't be able to cover them. We'll score a touchdown every play.
How are they going to do that with all 4 of our wide receivers on the roster?
Boys.
But that is a good one. That's the other way it could happen. If he ends up like blocking like 2+ people a play or something, just throwing his guy over into the next guy, and then I think that might work. But
Yeah.
that might be unrealistic.
So we are going chalk here as well, with Jared Goff as the team MVP.
Heck he is.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So the next one is the
And
leading.
Connor had Sewell on that.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, Bob. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sewell. Yes. All right. Go Connor.
All right.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. So the next one is leading rusher for the Detroit Lions this season. Obviously, that is between Monty and Gibbs.
And Vaki.
and Baki. And Craig
Let's hope
Reynolds.
not.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. It doesn't come to that.
Right.
Or maybe
Red Dog,
Jared
we'll
Goff
start
will just
with you.
find his legs this year.
Who do you have as the leading rusher? And let me just note, last year, 1,015 yards rushing for David Montgomery, 945 for Gibbs. So this is close.
It is close. Because, I mean, like, Montgomery is so damn good. Like, I just think he's going to go off. But I honestly can see them both hitting 1,000 this year. But I think Gibbs is going to have a little more yards because I just think he's going to find. I think he left more yards out there last year, where like some of his rookiness and stuff made him a little hesitant or over anxious or just not seeing the field well enough. By the end of the season, his ability to see the field and everything was clearly just improving. And like, I think he's going to tear the league apart. I think he's going to be the kind of guy, every time he touches that ball, we're going to think he's gone. Like, I just think he's going to go absolutely off. So I'm going with Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Gibbs, all right. Red Dog, if you had to guess, who has the higher over-under rushing total on They don't have it on DraftKings for some reason, but what do you think is their over-under rushing over-under total right now for both players?
Well, I would just assume they'd set that benchmark at 1,000 each because
Nope,
as the line.
825.5 yards. Each of them is so they have exactly the same. Their over-unders for both players.
Wow.
That seems low, but I mean, considering they both almost scratched 1,000 last year, but I guess you adjust low. But yeah,
It sounds like you're going over
probably.
then.
I mean, I just said they'd both go 1,000, so yeah, I guess I am. Though,
Yeah.
I think I bet that's higher than most back tandems in the leagues in terms of over-unders.
Definitely. I see.
If
yeah,
not all, it should be
A-Chain
higher
and-
than everyone's.
A-Chain and Mostert's the only one I could think of that might have been close, and they're not up there.
I just
Bob.
don't think they're as good.
All right. Leading
Gibbs.
rusher. See, on my list I had, for this point, it was Kirby Joseph ACLs, and I had him taking out 3 this year. But I think I had the wrong category. Okay, rusher. Anyway, the rushing game, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Gibbs, this is his moment. I think the national media is ready for it, too. That's all they talk about is Gibbs. So I think he's going to show up big time. So I got Gibbs as leading rusher. He's going to crack 1,000 and lead the team.
All right. That's
Nice.
2 for Gibbs. UJ.
Yep, you just muted.
Oh, UJ, you're on mute.
Oh, he's taking a vow of silence.
He can't decide between Gibbs and Monty.
I'm back.
He's gonna shit.
There he
All
is.
right.
Back.
Hey, okay, I found this one tough. The reason I think they're going to use Gibbs a lot more this year than they did last year, and they're going to try to find new ways to use him. And a lot of that, though, is going to be in the passing game. So this could affect some of his rushing totals, like not total yard totals, because I think he's going to just go off this year in total yardage. But I think a lot of it's going to be through the passing game. So I'm still going to go with Gibbs, though. I think because he's going to get more touches, but it's going to be very close. I think Monty's going to be right up there with him because he's going to be grinding out those hard yards, and Gibbs is going to do it through the air and on the ground both. So, but I'm going to give it the edge to Gibbs just because I think they're going to give him a lot more touches this year than they did last year. So, my logic.
Yeah. So, you wait, Gibbs, right?
Yes,
UJ?
I'm going with Gibbs.
Okay.
I'm going with Gibbs.
Connor also had Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm going to zag here a little bit and go with Monty. I think just slightly more reliable health-wise. I think Gibbs has the potential to maybe miss a game or two, and that's why
Didn't
potentially
they both missed last year?
They did. I'm just, but Montgomery has just slightly better history of being healthy. Just career-wise.
Does Gibbs have an injury history?
But also, I think just to close out games, I think they might throw Monty in there a little more at the end. He had 30 more carries last year. I imagine a similar split. So I'm going to go Monty, but it's going to be close again. It's going to be really close. I think they very evenly split these carries. I think he goes up for over 1,000 again, David Montgomery.
I think Gibbs gets over. Do you think Gibbs gets over 1,000, Z?
2,000 yards, right? Yes.
Oh, all right.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
Didn't like the hesitance, but I like the answer. Good job.
23 rushing touchdowns between the two of them last year.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean,
Who
when
had
you
the
look at
longer? Who had the longest rush between the two?
Montgomery.
By how
it was
many
Monty,
Montgomery
obviously,
had a
we know.
way
It was a
longer.
75-yarder.
75-yarder. Gibbs' longest was a 36-yarder.
Yeah.
For all that speed, that was his farthest run.
Like, that's why it's just so ridiculous when you compare the two. Like, Monty's just as capable of hitting the homers, and it's just like, how do you stop us with like those numbers though? Like, how often do teams have two 10-plus touchdown running backs and then still have a 10-plus touchdown tight end and a 10-plus touchdown receiver? Like, this team's already putting up video game numbers, and we haven't even talked about James. Like, oh my God, I could see all the ridiculous things like two 1,000-yard rushers happening, and that's largely because our O-line's dope.
And then you compare it to an offense like the Jets last year, who had 7 rushing touchdowns total on their whole team. None from them with, and they didn't even try a rush with a running back from the 1-yard line all season.
I love
thought that
laughing
was
in
kind of a-
superiority.
I just thought that was a wild stat. I
weak
heard.
teams.
They didn't try a run from the goal line with their running backs an entire season. That's quite remarkable,
bad.
actually.
And didn't they have our old guy on there too? What is
Ty
the running
Johnson.
backs? Ty Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess he's
yeah.
not
Ty
that good for them
Johnson.
either.
Wow.
They had Brees Hall, but and he's good, but I mean, that whole
Was he
offense is a
injured?
disaster. Anyways,
Because I've seen people put Brees Hall ahead of Gibbs, and I just think they're smoking crack.
Yeah.
well, probably because he's going to get like 25 carries a game. That's probably why.
But like,
he's
I
not
think
splitting carries.
I think the trap with the Gibbs thinking, and for a lot of people, is just going to be. I think he's going to do more with less than a lot of running backs in the league, just because of his sheer explosiveness. There's very few backs that have his level of just speed and just.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he's
no
the whole
doubt.
package. Like, I take him over. Maybe A-Chain's a little faster, but I don't think A-Chain's a complete back like Gibbs is. I think he's a little smaller, a little like easier to bring down, whereas Gibbs just has that ridiculous contact balance. He brings the wham when he gets tackled. Like, I just think this dude is gonna absolutely destroy.
All right.
How many other ways can I say it? I think he's gonna be. No, I'm just kidding. It's so exciting.
So let's go to some of these over-under ones I pulled out.
All right.
So the first one I had here was Goff, 4,050.5 passing yards over-under.
Over.
Last year, 4,575 yards passing. Am I missing something here?
Yeah, I know.
My only thought is that they think the Lions are going to be blowing out more teams, and he might not be throwing in the fourth quarter like they did last year to a degree. That's my only rationale for why they have this at 500 yards lower than what he hit last year. And that's with 2,000-yard rushers also
Yeah.
on the team.
Yeah.
So I don't fully comprehend why this
Where did
line
we
is
rank
so
in overall
low.
yards on offense last year? Do you know?
I believe it was third off the top of my head. I would have
that
to look
seems
that
about
one
right
up.
then. Because that's just crazy.
Well, Z, I'll take this one first. I will
Yes.
take the over on Jared Goff. I think he's going to have a great year.
Yes.
And J-Mo's going to be stepping up. Got all kinds of weapons. Hawk is healthy. It's gonna be going humming along this year. And like you were talking about, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they're going to be using him all the time. The safety valve out of the backfield, man. And just boom. Break him.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
Goff was second in passing yards last year behind Tua.
Yep, I was just about to say. So the Lions were third overall in team offense and at least yards per game, if you look at it that way. 258 passing
I
per
just
game.
mean
and
overall yards
130
at the end of the season.
Yep, so third, like I
Okay.
said, which I'm patting myself on the back for remembering that.
Nice.
So Bob has Goff over. UJ, do you have over on Goff? 4,050 yards.
I don't see how they take away 500 yards from what he did last year. This offense is going to be humming this year, and we have so many good weapons. And the 25 touchdowns, that's definitely low too. I think he's going to have more than he had last year. We're going to be lighting up the scoreboard this year constantly, and I think Goff's going to have a better year than he did last year. I don't know if he'll do over 4,500 like he did last year, but he'll definitely do over the 4,000, hands down.
For sure. I'm with you there, UJ. I have the over as well. And the other factor here too is the Lions played a little more outdoor games last year. I think it was 5. This year they only play 3 outdoor games the entire season. 14-17 in the dome. This team is definitely better in the dome. I would say they showed they could win outdoors last year, but I think the offense operates better in the dome. They're built for it. That's their home
it's just that
turf.
they're better in a dome, but they're still better on turf too. It's just or in a outside too. They're just not as good as they are in a. They're still better than the other teams outside though.
Right. Well, I think the turf, especially with this team, there's just so much. We have so much team speed, and it's just you can. It's a little more.
We hit our upside better.
The turf you're always faster on than like the natural grass, especially in the elements and running against the wind, etc.
But we're built so much around that bruising offensive line too, where we could play anywhere.
Well, we also have the Campbell effect too,
yes.
where we'll play him anywhere, right in a parking lot, in an alley,
Hurricane.
whatever. And I think
Maybe one day they'll
cheek,
play him in
two
a parking
toes.
lot.
And I think these guys really believe that it doesn't matter where they play. So
Like if it's like the Packers, and maybe next year it'll be like Brazil or Germany or something.
Yeah, as the
Okay.
NFL continues its conquest of the world.
Yeah, there's gonna be like a NFL World and NFL US, and then that'll be the Super World Mega Bowl or whatever. I don't know, whatever they call it. The Super Bowl, but I think that's what the NFL's had probably in like 25 years. Anyways, Red Dog.
Okay, I'm going to zag a little bit here, and I'm going to say over, but over 4,500.
Over 4,500.
I'm setting my own line.
I like it. I love it.
Over.
I'm all about you setting your own lines, Red Dog. Vegas likes it too. All right. So we're universal on Goff over 4,050 and a half yards. Over.
yeah,
That's also 25. Oh, shoot. I should have done these really quick. 25 and a half passing touchdowns over under on Goff there. Last year he had 30. Really quick.
over.
UJ over.
Over.
Red Dog over. Bob.
Yeah, over. And as far as your bet goes for MVP, I think he needs to hit like 40 touchdowns to make that happen.
That's actually a good point.
But
I would go over. I'm going to go over too. Although I am worried about the running backs taking away the touchdowns. But
Here's where I think the big touchdown breaker, a couple of places he's going to find extra touchdowns this year. J-Mo, more regularly just taking tops off of defenses, and Gibbs breaking long ones on short routes. I think that's going to up some of his touchdown totals a bit this year.
And you still got to give LaPorta his, and you still got to give Amon-Ra his. So, I mean, these guys got to eat, man. I'm telling you. So they're all going to get their touchdowns.
You
the
know,
thing that stops me from thinking Goff might win is like Drew Brees never won an MVP in his NFL career either, because I constantly model like the Sean Payton Saints offense and how the Lions kind of operate. So because that was like everybody, the ball's distributed evenly, running, passing to balanced.
Which is
so
hilarious.
That does hurt MVP chances, unfortunately.
It's like if your team's not at least a little bad, then it hurts your cause. Right?
It's all about the narrative. It's a narrative award.
That's
You could
true.
be like the perfect grease in that thing that just has it running smoother than a baby's bottom, but that just looks too good. So I guess because he was good. At
100 to
grease,
1.
man.
Tim Patrick is comeback player of the year. By the way,
Ooh,
100 to 1
100
odds.
to 1.
He hasn't played
Wow.
in 2 years. So
We got a line like that on Davenport.
no,
I
don't
feel
think
like he
so.
could be a comeback player of the year if he finds himself this year. He could be suddenly just a beast for
I mean,
us.
he
if
would have to
stays
lead the league
healthy.
in sacks to win that.
that's UJ's guy.
To
Yeah.
win
Davenport.
comeback player of the year, Z?
correct.
What?
Because
What did Tim Patrick have to do then?
I mean,
Does he
the
have to
two
lead
the two
team in
highest odds,
receptions or something?
the two lowest odds on it right now are Aaron Rodgers and Yeah, like two quarterback. Who's the other one? Oh,
You're saying
Kirk Cousins.
Oh, that's like a
He would have
specific.
to
I
work
didn't know
on
that's
those
like
guys. So that's why I don't
Yeah.
think.
Well, we'll see if Rodgers survives a snap or two this year.
Since we're on Goff, there's one more I
want.
wanted to point out with Goff. One, I thought this was a fun one, especially with the game one coming up here. Who will have more passing yards this season, Goff or Stafford? Goff is the slightly favored here at -1.
What were their figures from last year, both of them?
Oh,
I know Stafford missed a game or two, but
let me pull up the Rams. So obviously we knew Goff's. If I pull up,
I don't think Stafford has
here,
many, but he did miss some time as well.
3,965 yards from Stafford, and that was in 15 games played. So yeah, he missed two.
2 games.
If he played those two, it's probably around the same. So
Yes,
Well,
that's a good one.
Still 600 yards. That's no guarantee.
That is a
300
good
yards
one.
in 2 games.
well, that was because Stafford missed two at the beginning of the year. So
I'm
Well, the
saying
Rams
there's 2 games.
They're going to be playing from behind a lot this season. He's going to be throwing a lot.
That's a good point.
Yeah, definitely
I
week
think
one.
you're right
Definitely
about
week
that.
one.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that.
All right, so really quick, who do you have? Who's throwing for more passing yards?
I'll go with Goff.
Goff.
Red Dog.
I mean, I think like you said, Stafford's going to be behind, so he'll be throwing more. But I think Goff's still going to throw for more. Dominance.
Producer KJ.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
I think
what do you got?
Goff is probably gonna have throw more
Oh,
have more passing yards.
Reverse psychology. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work on us, KJ.
Doubt from Rams
I'm
country.
gonna go Goff as well. Although I don't know if I would actually put money down on this one. But if I had to pick one, I would go Goff. All right.
I mean, the Rams do have a couple of running backs that they're excited about, so maybe they will be able to run good this year. Who knows?
All right. Next one is Sam LaPorta. 825.5 receiving yards over under. Woo, that is a lot for a tight end, let me tell you.
What did he get last year?
Last year, Sam LaPorta had 889. So maybe it's not as crazy as it seems. Just when you see a number like that for a tight end,
Interesting.
it's pretty crazy.
They like him though. That shows they like him. Look, they came down how many yards off of Gibbs and Monty, but for him it's almost the same exact range as he got last year. So they must think he's gonna do pretty good.
Yeah, and that's 5 yards less than Kelsey's line. So
Wow.
that tells you where they see him.
That is interesting.
That's major respect because Mahomes leans on Kelsey so much.
UJ,
Man.
what do you got?
I'm going to say over. I think the biggest factor here is JMO. Because I think I think
that's where I
the
was
way
going.
offenses are going to be, their offense is going to be, and JMO taking the tops off, I think he's going to be open more. So he's just going to have more openings to catch passes and score and get yards. So I'm going to say over. I'm going to go over.
All right. I'm going to go under here because of the JMO factor. I think he's going to take some of those yards away. I think LaPorta ends like in the 750 range. Probably the same amount of touchdowns, hopefully, with 10. Red zone target, but I'm going to go under on LaPorta receiving. Bob.
Well, I had Goff having a huge year, so he needs those yards to go somewhere. So I'm going to have some of those go to LaPorta. I think LaPorta and him just have a great connection, and he feels comfortable throwing him the ball. So even if JMO's great, I think he's going to still continue to feed LaPorta. So I see them getting the over on that one.
Like it.
So because the Lions are going to be the best team in football this year, so it's going to be big numbers all over the place. So
Fair enough.
Facts.
Fair enough.
No cap.
Red Dog.
Yeah, I mean, like the great tight ends have a certain type of magic about them. I'll never forget the game we played the Patriots, and they had Gronk still, and like he was literally their only target on offense that year, and we still just had this way where he would just come wide open down the middle of the field. But I think that's what the likes of like Kelsey and Gronk and LaPorta do, and plus that's like the quarterback's best friend, the underneath and the guy who gets open, and I think he's gonna get open just as much, if not more, this year. Like UJ said, over baby. I'm also making another hot, bold prediction. He's going to be the third 1,000-yard receiver on this team after St. Brown and JMO.
So that goes into my next over-under, which was JMO's over-under yards, which is 675.5.
I guess you got my answer.
354. So they are also. I mean, that was in 12 games. He obviously had to miss some with suspension and such. 675. I'm going to go way over here. I do think he has a big year, barring any injury. I think he's looked like we've always thought, we've hoped he looked in the preseason thus far. So I'm going to go way over on JMO. I think he gets around 900 even, possibly. That's why I'm lower on LaPorta, because I'm really high on JMO.
That doesn't make any sense, but I'll take it.
UJ, sorry, let's go to Bob, actually. Bob, what do you think JMO 675 and a half?
675 is the number?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go up on that, above that. Like I said, it's going to be a big year all around, and I do think JMO's going to go off, and I think he's going to have a game, at least one game where he's over 200 yards this year. Mm-hmm. So that'll have a big chunk of it right there in one game. So I'll have the over on that one.
UJ.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the over on this one. I don't know if he's going to get 1,000, but like Bob said, I definitely see a game where he gets 200 yards and just tears the team apart. And huge chunk. He's going to just get chunks, And but yeah, I can see him pushing 1,000 for sure. Definitely, absolutely, hands down the over 675. He's going to be a huge weapon this year.
Right, beautiful. This is drinking Blue Kool-Aid after all. This podcast.
It is that.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of overs here. I love it.
Cheers.
I think our list had receptions, but I like the yards better. I think it's a better measure. Okay, so I just thought of this one in my head. Now that I think about it.
Well, can I just give you my answer? Because I get
you gave it already, but go ahead. You can give it again.
I don't know. I'll just extrapolate a little bit. I think watch out for JMO, man. I think a lot of people have it in their mind he's just a burner who's going to take tops off offenses. But if you watch this kid, the way he trained his body, the way he's mastering his craft, he's looking to be a full spectrum receiver. Mark my words, by the end of this season, he will be in the conversations with the likes of Amon-Ra, with the likes of CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. I think he has the ceiling and is going to reach the ceiling of one of the best receivers in the game because he has a skill set that says there's no reason he can't be, if not the best.
Well, I love that you just keep leading into segues for me here, Raw Dog, because the last one I wanted
The
last one I wanted to note was Amon-Ra St. Brown. His over-under receiving is 1,250 and a half. He had
getting a little more
1,515 yards last year, 119 catches. His over-under catches this year is 105 and a half. Anyways, I guess, Raw Dog, since we're on you, what do you think? Over-under on 1,250 and a half for Amon-Ra.
I'm thinking he's more like 1,700 this year, more like 15, 16, 17, maybe 20 touchdowns this range. I think he's going to, you just watch him win at will throughout camp. The dude is absolutely hitting the next level, and I think he's going to be unstoppable.
All right, so you have the over. UJ.
Yeah, absolutely the over. Amon-Ra has made a point of just getting better every year. This year's going to be no different. He is going to be tearing the league apart. He is absolutely always open, and he's going to be Goff's best friend this whole year like he has been the last 2 years, and Goff's going to be finding him with regularity, and this guy is just going to be just getting chunks. And easily over that 1,200. I'll probably do better than he did last year, better than the 1,500, and at least 10 touchdowns, I think, this year for him. Amon-Ra is just a stud, hands down.
He is.
All right, Bob.
Yeah. Amon-Ra, the guy is amazing. I mean, I don't think he's getting better. I think he's there. He's like Neo in the Matrix when he sees it all. I'm like, okay. So the numbers are irrelevant now. It's just like he can catch the ball or run with the ball. It all comes to him. And
I like you doing it's like the bullets coming at him, right? That thing you're doing right now.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah, you're going to see a cornerback come to tackle this season. He's just going to put his hand down and be like, no. You guys will stop.
No. But Amon-Ra is so good right now. I think he is the league standard. Whether he's in the top, whatever you want to put your number, he is the gold standard you want to get to.
Hell yeah.
So even if he has a fall off on yards, he's still going to be above that number. So I think he'll be similar in yards, and his catches are going to be above that number by far. So
yeah, I'm with you, Bob. I think it's very similar year to last year in terms of yardage and production. I'm going to go with the over here as well. I think they must think that JMO's going to be taking the yards away from him more than LaPorta based on how the over-unders are going. and compared to last year's stats. So that's interesting. I think it'll take more from LaPorta possibly because of the field. But anyways,
If it's anything like my Madden season, they'll both be just fine. Okay,
yeah,
plenty of yards.
exactly. All right, so a couple more I had here that I just found were interesting about, especially if you're high on the Lions, like we are here and drinking Blue Kool-Aid.
We're drunk on the Lions. Get it right, Z. Gosh.
Clearly, we should take this bet. The Lions are 5.5 to 1 to have the most points in the NFL this season. If you want to compare to last year, the Lions were 5th in the NFL. They were behind the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the 49ers, and the Ravens for points.
What was the
scored
point
last year.
differential between us and the first team?
So the Cowboys had 509, and the Lions had 461. So 48 points.
Some room to grow.
48 points.
I
And the
think our
Cowboys had a much
defense
weaker
will-
schedule. And
Our defense will be much better contributors, though, to scoring, I think, this year in every way,
Yeah.
like shape and form, whether it's them scoring or just getting the ball in better field position. So,
Yeah. Well, I think if we add all our over and unders, I think we're going to score a lot of points. Should be no problem.
Okay, so the next one I had here, so I'll get to the Super Bowl odds in a second, but the exact 1 through 4, I'm curious what your guys' prediction is for the NFC North here. So if you go Lions first, Packers second, Bears third, and Vikings fourth, the exact order from 1 through 4 in the NFC North, that is 6 to 1 odds. That's what I think it will be. I'm curious if you guys disagree with that.
I'm not sure what you even just said. So
The bet is
Clear
the
that up.
exact order from 1 through 4 in the NFC North by the end of the season. Lions, Packers,
that's
Bears,
the order?
Vikings.
I got you.
Yes, that is 6 to 1 odds.
I
I
those
think that
odds.
will be the
I like that
order. But I also think that the division's pretty good from top to bottom. I think even the Vikings are going to be a tough out this year. But I think that's the right order.
Just a side note: is McCarthy showing any signs of being available
No,
this year? Or are
he's
they
done.
rolling with
He's
Darnold?
injured.
Available?
He's
He's
out.
done for the year.
He's out for the
He's done
year.
for the year. Oh, that sucks because I think he gave them better. Well, maybe Darnold will surprise, but I think the division's going to be tough.
It's gonna be.
I think
tough.
Darnold's going to be better than people think.
If he's got good receivers, man, like that.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't deny that talent and that receiver.
Well, do you remember
damn.
Darnold's first game in the NFL? Does anybody remember that one?
Yeah, it went
Against
pretty well
us
for
when
him.
he threw a touchdown on the first play? Was that Darnold?
It was. The rest of the
Yeah.
game
That
went
was
very
fun.
well.
I'm thinking of what's his name from Atlanta.
No, you're thinking of the right guy.
Matt-
It was Darnold.
Darnold.
But I think Matt. Maybe I'm thinking of what's his name. Matty Ice. Matt
Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
I think he might have just done the same thing then, because I think he also opened his career by throwing a long touchdown against us, if I'm not mistaken. But
I think
that
you're right.
probably isn't a lone experience for us in history here. So.
Well,
But
we were on a
Darnold,
lot
yeah.
of people's highlight reels for years, but that's
Exactly.
it's not the way anymore these days. Okay,
No, hell no.
We are not the poster children.
Yeah.
They're in
So-
our
Yeah,
highlight reels now.
Yeah, you and I welcomed Anquan Bolden into the league.
Yeah,
I was there
that's
too.
Right. That's right. He had like
The
200.
Charles Rogers game too.
He had like 220 yards that day as a rookie against us. Oh
I know.
my god.
That was terrible.
Charles Rogers' career day, his first only
2
big
touchdowns.
game ever of his career.
Yeah. Oh my
Joey
god.
Harrington. It was all bright back then.
Yeah, that was a fun
Future was
game
bright.
Yeah.
So what?
for 5 seconds.
Oh boy.
One more that caught my eye was the Lions to score 1 touchdown in every game this season was minus 120, so $120 to win $100. So pretty much even odds.
That's
To score 1 touchdown in every game.
Oh, that's a gimme.
So you lose money
Yeah,
if you
gimme.
win. Is that what I heard?
I don't see us
Oh, you get
not
your
scoring a
120 back.
touchdown in any game.
Yeah,
Period.
me neither.
I just
Yeah.
don't see
Silly.
it.
I can see the only one I can see is maybe in Chicago, like if anything, just because of goofy weather or something like that in
Nope.
December. Like it's snowing a foot or something like that.
No.
but
I can't see it.
come on.
I mean, it doesn't
No
mean
way.
it can't happen.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying if it happens in any game,
about
Why wouldn't
wonky
Hutch
things occur
even
in Chicago?
there's Terry Arnold pick 6 in that game too.
Have you
So
been
like,
into the
come on, that's a
Gaffers
touchdown.
Brew again?
I mean, I still like it. So, anyways, I did have one more that wasn't on the board anywhere, but I was curious, you guys. Over, maybe
Are you
I'm
making
putting
it
this
up
too
right
low.
now?
Over 2.5 catches by offensive linemen this year for the Detroit Lions.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I was deciding between 2.5 and 3.5. I settled at 2.5.
That's a good
Probably
one.
go the under, but they'll probably get close.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah.
Bob's going under. Rud Dog.
I'm going over. I think Sewell's
All right.
gonna get 2 this year himself.
Yeah.
All right, UJ.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go with Bob here. I'm gonna say we get 2 this year.
I think 2 as well. I think 2. Okay, so I said it good. I said a good number.
That was a good number.
Um,
that was good. Tough one.
I can see Sewell being used as like a fullback, and no, you don't want him as a fullback, I guess.
As a receiver, though, he's done it before.
Well,
They should just feature him one game as receiver.
Just
That'd be awesome.
right? Just
I'd be a
assume
little
you're
worried
gonna
someone
have
taking out
to.
the legs.
They're gonna redeem Decker this year because like that
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
moment in Dallas needs to be redeemed. Like he needs his
Definitely.
His
Well,
touchdown.
they will get a redemption in the form of facing the Cowboys again in Dallas, and that.
I think
Yeah.
we're gonna roll.
We always got to play them
destroy
there. How does that work out that way?
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, one of my favorite Stafford memories is the Lions playing the Cowboys at home when he jumped over the line with the 1 second. Everybody thought he was spiking. And he jumped over.
Riley.
Oh, we were there.
Yeah, Rud Dog,
Yeah.
you and
One
Bob
of
were
the best
there.
ever.
that was
Yeah,
a
we-
great game. Oh my god, that was a classic Stafford moment.
One of the best games ever.
Classic Stafford moment.
Like the comeback of that, like it was like such a razor thin margin of comeback that they pulled off there. It was awesome.
What was it? Hey, Eric, I'm going to test your memories here. What was it one a few years back where we were in Dallas and we won, and one of our receivers threw the ball at the star when he scored the touchdown? In the
Oh,
end?
yeah,
that was-
Who was that? It was like a little white guy receiver.
That was a while ago.
It was a long time. It was probably 10 years ago, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, what are we referencing?
It was like Joe Fourier or something.
No, it wasn't
Or,
Fourier.
Was it
His
receiver?
Epic 7
I
touchdown
don't remember who it
stretch.
was, but
Or
yeah,
whatever
we
it was,
were.
12
I think we pulled the upset that day in Dallas, and this receiver caught a touchdown and threw the ball at the star on the wall there. Like as like a.
And then it fell, yeah.
it was like
Are
it
you
was
sure
a
it wasn't
big
Roy
deal
Williams?
at the time. It was really cool. I don't know. I'd have
Sure
to
it's
look that
not
one up
Williams?
again, but
You sure it was
You
like
think
a white
was
receiver?
Small white
in
guy?
my memory, it was. I don't remember now who it was, but I don't know. Maybe
I'm
someone
trying to
can
think of all the
white
white
guys?
receivers. Like Chris Durham was a Georgia receiver.
maybe someone
that
can find
played
it
at
by
Stanford, but it
before the
wasn't him.
podcast is over. But
I thought like Golden Tate or something threw that at the star. No,
That sounds better, more like.
I thought it was older than
yeah,
that.
I think it was before Tate. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
maybe our producer can find it while we
Roy
continue
Williams? Are
here.
you sure it wasn't him? I feel like it might have been Roy
I'm
Williams.
almost positive, but anyway.
Anyways, let's move on here. So
Yeah.
let's get to our season predictions, our final records we have for the
alright,
Lions
here we
this
go.
year.
Yes.
So the Lions
Yes.
to win the conference plus 550, Super Bowl 12-1. Their over under right now is 10.5. If you do 12.5,
really
it's
low.
2-1 odds.
It's really low.
So if you think the Lions are going to win 13 or more, jump in there. But anyways, Vegas has it at 10.5. Their Super Bowl odds 12-1. I've taken it already. You bet it. So anyways, let's go around here. Actually, I want to start with Bob. Do you want to read Connor's prediction?
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let me get that back up. Okay. This is for the season. 13-4, the number 1 seed and a division crown. So 13-4, and they're could be the number 1 seed.
Beautiful.
So.
Okay.
I'm also going to go 13-4 as well. That is my prediction. Prediction for the Lions season this year. I think 14 of 17 games inside the dome really helps them out this year. 13-4, improvement on last year. I think that's going to be good enough for number 1 seed in the NFC as well. I'm all in agreement with Connor on that one. Let's throw it back over to you, Bob. What do you have?
All right. Yeah. Obviously, I've been drinking the Kool-Aid in this, as you can tell from all my overs on this podcast. And I'm going to go this year. I'm going to give them a bump up too. I think 14-3. They're going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC and get that first round bye. And the losses, I see one in Dallas because we're gonna get screwed. I'm not saying we're gonna outplay them, but the score will not go on our way because of some bad refereeing. So
If you look at the Lions' schedule, like they probably are going to be underdogs in just 4 of the 17 games.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, at San Francisco, at Green Bay, at
That was another
Dallas.
one of my losses, was at San Francisco, because that's late in the year. Frisco's going to be fighting harder. We're going to already have it wrapped up by then.
Very
And then maybe the Texans.
Good logic.
Is my other one. So
yeah, Texans is the fourth one where they'd probably be
That's going to be a tough one.
underdog. All right, Red Dog, what do you have? Do I even need to ask?
I mean, you don't need to, Z, but I appreciate you asking anyway. Well, I look at the schedule, and it's really, really hard to find losses on the schedule. I think, we're going to win every game. So that's what I went with. 17-0. Last year I made the mistake. I'm sorry, guys. That was on me. I went 16-1 because I made some idea that reality had to be accounted. And, I think it cost us a Super Bowl, so I won't make that mistake again. 17-0, right on one seed through the playoffs. Just sheer dominance. Lions are the king and will be the reigning king for years to come.
yeah.
And,
Hey, look, guys,
and
it's
Dallas. One thing about Dallas. We're not going to
What's
lose
that?
to Dallas. The refs are going to try. Barnes is going to get a redemption game and absolutely plaster Dak throughout the game. And this time he's not going to miss in the end zone, and he's going to get safety. So, yeah.
all right.
I like it. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, UJ.
Okay. I'm going to preface my prediction with a letter to Dan Campbell. Dear Dan Campbell, please, as we are 15-0 with 2 games left in the season and nothing left to play for because we've wrapped up the number 1 seed, the division, and everything else, please don't sit your players and rest them. Please let them shoot for immortality and run the table. Don't take it away from them like Jim Caldwell did with the Colts back in the day when Peyton Manning and that team was so good. They were rolling, baby. They had 2 games ago. They were 14-0, just rolling. And he started sitting all his starters, and you could see how pissed they were. They had a chance for immortality. So, Dan, please do not rob our chance of immortality as we go undefeated, run through the playoffs, and win the Super Bowl and become the greatest team that ever played in the NFL. This is going to be the greatest team that ever played. We're going to run the table, baby. 20 wins in a row. Undefeated, Super Bowl champions, domination, in reminiscent of the 85 Bears, despite their one loss. That was a hell of a great team. And there's been a couple other great teams through history, but this will go down as the greatest team in the history of the NFL. So there you go. It's my prediction.
Beautiful. Do you sign off like a love UJ or anything?
Yeah, love you, Jay.
Is that still the letter?
Yeah.
So, Dan, please don't rob them of that. Please do not do that.
Oh, hey.
I got to say, though, one about UJ's thing, he always brings up that Colts team.
He always does.
I think he might have to be called before the Kool-Aid tribunal to see how deep the Kool-Aid runs in his blood. Because that Colts team, that's one of his favorite teams in NFL history. And
Well,
it should all be Lions teams.
I will just preface it this, when
win a Super
we
Bowl.
watch football, we are always Lions fans. Lions, true blue, down to the core. But sometimes in all the years we've been so bad, sometimes I root for other certain players here and there that I find that I like.
You're not helping
My
your
guy
argument.
was Peyton Manning. I loved Peyton Manning. I loved watching that guy play. He was my favorite player in the league at that time. And it wasn't that I was rooting for the Colts. I was rooting for Peyton Manning, really.
And Peyton Manning
Thus,
also
the
break
Kool-Aid
the curse.
Wars began.
He also broke Peyton Manning and Jeff Daniels.
I thought you'd be more offended by
broke
that,
the
UJ.
Lions curse.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so-
That's true.
Anyway.
Whiskey
UJ,
bath.
your indifference to the accusation against your Kool-Aid has me worried, but
Yeah, I know, right? Red Dog?
You cannot say I don't drink the Kool-Aid. You guys cannot ever say that to
honestly,
me.
when Bob said it, I was like, in my mind, it was like, and thus the war of the Kool-Aid began, and it was going
All
to
right.
rage for years.
no
like,
war
I just,
here.
I but you were just kind of okay with it, so.
Really quick, we need our producer, Kid J. What is your prediction for the Lions season here?
I think the Lions are also going to go 13-4 with the winning division and be the number 1 seed.
Kid J has put his money where his mouth is. He's taking the Lions over 12.5 wins on the season. That's
All right.
Yeah, and also
I like it.
Also got Aiden Hutchinson to have 15+ sacks this year.
Nice.
That was 5-1, and then Jared Goff MVP. I got it at 20-1, I think. So
Producer Kid
Yeah,
J, the
Kid
secret
J.
Lions fan.
That's actually good because Hutch's over under regular season total sacks is 10.75 this season. So I like that over.
I like the
Yeah,
over
me
too.
too.
I like
for
that
sure.
over a lot.
I think he is. I like Kid J's range better. I think he's gonna have much more opportunities with everyone around him being better.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Despite you guys
Okay.
and your negativity, it was a pretty optimistic predictions here overall, I think.
Who was negative?
Well, we're not done with our predictions yet because now we need to do our Super Bowl predictions.
Yeah.
So, what is your Super Bowl prediction for this season? UJ, let's start with you.
Okay, well, obviously I have the Lions in the Super Bowl, and I think we're going to be playing the Texans this year. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to fall by the wayside a little bit there this year. I think Lamar Jackson will never make it to a Super Bowl ever in his career, and I think the Texans look pretty darn good with this young quarterback, C.J. Stroud. So, yeah, it's going to be us and them in the Super Bowl, and we are going to just destroy them mercilessly in the Super Bowl. It won't even be close. So, that's it.
Beautiful. All right. Let's go to Red Dog.
Well, I guess you know my stance on where the Lions will be on one side of this equation. Lions versus Chiefs. I think we're going to take it from the top dogs. I think we're going to get Mahomes' best shot this year, but we're going to be the team that breaks him. Aiden's going to pick him off not once but twice. Tarian's going to get a pick. It's going to be a bloodbath. They're going to basically end Mahomes' career, not just his reign. And they're just going to roll over him as Jared Goff wins MVP over him to just assert his dominance once more in a unbeaten record against Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. Absolutely. That would be a really fun Super Bowl.
That
Lions
would be
and Chiefs.
fun. I'd love
That would be crazy.
I would love that.
Bob, what do you have? I know Connor is
Yeah.
Lions and Chiefs as well. Lions winning it. But what do you have?
What did UJ give his? Because I had my computer almost died there for a second.
Yeah, I said the Lions versus Texans. And the Lions winning.
Ah, nice.
Two teams going for the first Super Bowl in UJ's
Yeah.
Yes.
instance.
And I'm gonna have the Lions go to the Super Bowl, and actually against the opponent I would fear the most. So I'll be pretty nervous. The Ravens, Lions-Ravens.
You think Lamar Jackson can win a playoff game?
Nope.
All right.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
Oh, man.
But I know I've been happy to see him lose so far, but I see him getting a little further this year and just losing to the Lions. So get a little closer. But Lions, we're giving a score or just like
No, you
wins.
didn't score this time.
Yeah, okay.
We'll give
Lions,
it in a few months when the Lions are in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Does
There
a
you go.
bloodbath need a score?
Lions Ravens. Don't you think that would be a tough game? I mean, for the Lions.
No.
It was because the Ravens always give him fits.
Yeah.
In your scenario, I think Jack Campbell will hunt him down.
Because Lamar Jackson
And he'll
will
remember
never
it
win a
in his
Super Bowl.
dreams from
I don't
that
think he'll
day
ever
on.
play in one.
All
It's
right.
overrated.
UJ, hopefully we never have to use that soundbite against you in the future.
You won't have to. You won't have to.
It's confident.
I hate to go chalk here, but I mean the Chiefs have built an excellent roster with the best quarterback. So I do, and their defense is extremely legit. And they are very well coached, and I think they are going to get back there. No team has ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row in NFL history. They're trying to do that for the first time this year, but the Lions are also trying to win their first Super Bowl in history. And the Lions will beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It'll be a close one, but you got to give the fans what they want and give them a close game of Super Bowl, but they pull it out in the end.
No, you don't.
Because Jake Bates will kick a 59-yarder to win the Super Bowl. 27-24, Lions.
I'll take it.
I'll
All
definitely
right,
take it.
Producer Gajay, you got to give your prediction.
I think the Lions will win the Super Bowl over the I think the Texans. Yeah, the Texans sounds good.
Wow.
Kool-Aid, yes, let the Kool-Aid flow through.
Wow. Gajay, how far are your Rams going to go this year then?
I think they'll be like they'll get out in the wild card round, or the division
Twice,
round.
2 years in a row, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't like
defense
your
is a-
tactics. They're too befuddling. It's just you're throwing me off balance. It's like,
Kid J's
it doesn't
drinking the
make
Kool-Aid.
sense.
When you produce the pod every week, it just starts draining into you. You know,
I
it just
think so. I
happens.
think he's falling in love.
One
baby.
morning you just wake up and it's just flowing Kool-Aid in
It's
the
all right,
veins.
Kid J. There's plenty of space here, baby. The water's just fine. Come on
All
aboard.
right. So we're at the top of the hour here on our pod. I think we're gonna wrap it up, but well, a lot of good sound bites too for the YouTube page.
I just got this letter.
A letter.
Dear, it's from Dan Campbell.
What?
Dear Jack, I'm insulted that you felt the need to
You
tell
go get
me.
your mail
I
in the
don't.
middle of the
I don't.
podcast.
I just feel insulted that you even have to feel the need to tell me not to go for undefeated record. Like, come on, man, brother. What the heck? That's all
Wow.
he said.
Well,
He's a great writer.
yeah.
Yeah, very eloquent. Very.
Didn't even say hi, Jack, or anything.
I
He
knew-
just got
I
straight to
knew
the
we
To
point.
be fair, he was insulted by the idea that he would sit his players in the pursuit of glory. I don't.
Wow. I'm surprised he didn't text or email, but he wrote a letter. That's crazy.
Yeah, really
Al-
old-fashioned.
And Al delivered it to my balcony. I
Yeah.
guess he's also a wizard. I don't know.
He's like Bugs Bunny, He writes the letter and mails it and comes back.
Thanks, Rod. No, I always needed a point where we needed to officially wrap this up.
Red Dog
So,
leads
think
the
on
me,
that
lead
note,
in giving us those points.
literally
Yeah,
on that note,
Don't think
we will
me
wrap
think
up
Dan
the podcast.
Campbell. It was his letter. I don't even think. Thanks, Dan.
So literally on that note, we will wrap up the podcast here. This will be up on our YouTube page. We are gaining subscribers a little bit of time, so we appreciate everybody that's subscribing on there. That's youtube.com/@DTBK_Lions, or just type in Drinking Blue Kool-Aid, subscribe to the channel on there. I'm sure we'll have some live ones coming up in the near future, but we're trying to post every one of our episodes on there, and then some clips throughout the episodes on there as well. Instagram at Drinking Blue Kool-Aid. Follow us on there. We want to know, and also on YouTube too, leave your comment, but we want to know your predictions for the upcoming season. What's your record prediction? Are Lions going to win the Super Bowl? Any other bets or over-unders that I didn't mention that you saw out there that you like? I mentioned a lot, but there's a million out there, so I missed several of them. And also Twitter at Drinking Lions. Follow us on there as well. We want to, of course, thank our aforementioned producer, Kid J.
Kid
J. For crushing it every
way to go.
single
He's the
week
best.
Best in
on the
All right.
podcast.
No
So
one's
we
ever
appreciate all the
gonna
hard
keep
work
him
from
down.
him.
Zach,
Whoa.
Big Z. I have a couple notes you wanted
his
to
real
come
name.
back on.
Oh, yes,
I know we
please.
mentioned. I know you guys mentioned Matt Ryan did throwing his first career touchdown pass against the Lions. It was against the Lions. It was a 66-yard pass to Michael Jenkins a minute and a half into the game.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
See,
Yeah.
this is the
And-
tactics.
job.
This is what he
Good
does.
job.
He gets you. He predicts good things for the Lions and then bring bad.
Do you know who
memories
threw the?
back.
Do you know who threw the ball to the star?
Yes, Mike Furry.
Mike Ferry. Oh
Oh,
my God! You Jay, way to go!
You were the best, man.
Wait-
You were the best.
And good job, Kid Jay.
Mike
Wow.
Furry.
Search it
Yeah,
out.
I
John
was
Kitna
right.
threw the pass.
Mike
John
Furry.
Kitna threw the
Oh, my
pass.
God.
Oh my God! It was a while ago. Wow.
that's awesome.
Wow, good find,
Thanks.
Kid J. That was a good.
That's why
that was
they
a good
pay
one
you the
right
big
there.
bucks.
That's why he's the best. Oh, my God, Kid J. Awesome.
Mike, wow, we definitely
job.
not would have got. I would not have got that one at least.
I even YouTubed it. I didn't get shit. So,
Wow.
good job, Kid Jay.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Sideline Report.com support podcast. Anything else I'm missing? I don't think so. We're gonna wrap it up. The last thing, of course, is just to thank our listeners. We want to thank you
Dan
for
Campbell
sticking with
for
us
listening.
all off season. There's no more waiting. No more Lil G
bit
put in our other text lines that are sometimes contributor Lil G. She said this will be the last. This past Sunday was the last Sunday without Lions football for the next few months. So.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
right.
are we playing?
Except
we
for
don't
that
get a
stupid
bye
bye
week
week.
this year?
Yeah, who the hell? Except for that stupid bye week, and
Yeah.
some weeks where we play on Thursdays and one on
And before the
Saturday.
Super Bowl,
But
we
you know,
get that little
most
break.
the Sundays are
The bye
they,
weeks
They
and
had
the
NFL
playoffs.
football. Anyways, on
Yeah.
on that
point,
note,
Lil
let's
G.
wrap it up here. We just want to thank everybody for listening. We greatly appreciate you. We'll be back later this week previewing Week 1, Sunday Night Football, hosting the Rams.
Ooh, baby.
That'll be a fun one. I'm sure producer KJ will have a thought or two on that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you, everybody, for listening. And last but not least, as always, go!
Go!